If you are new to computer-aided design, it's really important that you understand one of the basic tenets of using CAD, and that is that what you're doing is creating a model, a full-size model of the design. And here's a design for the rear of a building, a house here. There's obviously some decking and some steps down to an area and some garden beds. There's also an area here. If I select it on a layer called decking and another layer called cooking, so this little area is designed for an outdoor barbecue. If we use the distance command, remember I said that whenever you make an inquiry of a CAD drawing, it should reflect the value you get when you go out on site and actually measure. So I'll select the measure tool and I'll just roughly measure from one side here to another, and you get 39 units, just roughly. I haven't snapped to entities at all. 39 units puzzles me. What unit is the designer working to here? I've no way of knowing because I haven't got a real world object that is sized, so I have to do some guesswork. Clearly, if this rectangle represents the building outline, and we send as a little walkway obviously leading down the side of the house back out to the deck area, and we measure, let's do an accurate measure, and we'll pick near to that point there, and we'll zoom in and we'll say perpendicular to the wall of the building. The unit is 13.42. Now something's obviously wrong here. So in order to alter this drawing so that when we make inquiries we get meaningful results, we're going to have to scale it. Now let's imagine that we were able to go on site and actually measure that distance, the width of that walkway. Well, let's just imagine that it was 500 units or half a metre. So let's pick up our calculator tool and take 500 and divide by the distance measure that we got, which you might remember was 13.42, and that gives us a scale factor of 37.25. I'm sure it's not perfectly accurate, but it will give you some idea. So we're going to have to scale this drawing up by a factor of 37.5. Now, I know that if we scale a drawing that's got a lot of hatching in it, and especially a drawing with hatching with non-standard hatch patterns. These are not hatch patterns that come with our copy of gCADPlus. They have been added from somewhere else, and I just know that gCADPlus is likely to crash if we scale up these hatch patterns. So what I'm going to do is to remove at least some of them. We can easily reapply them with a more sensible hatch pattern at a later stage. So I hope I've got rid of all of the hatch patterns. You can probably scale up if you're using standard AutoCAD hatch patterns, but this particular drafter has used some seriously non-standard ones. So I think I've removed all of those, and what I'm now going to do is to select everything in the drawing and choose the scale option. As a base point, it's a good habit to say scale about 0,0, and we'll type in 37.5, and now we can unselect all and zoom extents. So everything did zoom up well. It looks as though this hatch pattern did scale correctly, in fact, and there must have been one hatch pattern on top of another. So even though I removed one, there was another one there. But I digress. Now let's use our distance tool. I'd be interested in how wide is this front entrance here. So we'll say, what's the distance from one corner of the site to the other? And we get 7, we'll say, yeah, we'll continue, and we get 7.415. So that block is about 7.5 meters wide, which I think is more reasonable. It may not be perfect, but it's reasonable. What we can then do is do things like go to the library and details, and we could go to vehicles. Now these vehicles, a simple car has been drawn the size of a simple car, obviously. Let's insert it into the drawing, and in comes the car. And we can pop it down and spin it around and move it in position so there's actually enough parking there for 2 vehicles. So I hope that helps you. It's really important to model full size, draw everything full size, and then you can get meaningful results out of it. You know how big a barbecue is that you're intending to buy, pop it down, put it in position, move things around, and experiment with your design work.